it's Hazel.
Hi, it's Azura.
And it's Jermaine.
And welcome back to Clevity's.
That's terrible. But yes, today we're really excited
Uh-huh.
because we are sitting on some brand new sofas.
Super comfy.
Oh my gosh. The set just keeps upgrading. And actually, this was sent to us by a listener.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think her name is Joanna.
Yeah,
Joanne.
Joanne.
So thank you so much to Joanne for sending us these comfy floor sofas
from 9N.
9N. That's right. Honestly, the back, right? Wow.
Hey, legit.
It's
this one.
really very comfy, you know.
Oh, this is such a
beautiful.
massive upgrade. Thanks so much, Joanne. We really, really appreciate this.
That's right. So today, in our comfy chairs, we're actually going to be talking about something I don't think we have had experience with it personally.
Okay.
It's about pregnancy and why some women are so scared of pregnancy.
Wait, this pregnancy we're talking about, is it pre-marriage or post-marriage?
I think
Oh.
post lah, huh?
Yeah. Post lah.
Hey, very different, okay, the feeling.
True.
I think post, but maybe
Post.
pre if you're okay with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Oh,
If it's
okay.
relevant to you, sure, why not?
Oh, that's right.
And I'm very excited because today we have a beautiful guest joining us on this episode of Hush Podcast, and she is Natasha. Hello.
What's up, you guys?
Mommy
How about you just
Nat?
like turn on that screen? You know, I feel like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. You know, Shellbot.
So this is the first time we're doing this because
Right.
first we had a plushie,
Right.
and then we had a real guest.
Yes.
And now we have her through a screen.
Oh my goodness, I miss you, Nata. How have you been?
I'm great. So this is where the girl gang is at, huh?
That's
Yes,
right.
that's
So,
right.
Nat, tell us more about yourself, about what you do and your show and all that.
Well, I am Natasha. I'm 25 and I'm turning 26. And I host Lunchbox on 987 in the afternoons, 10 to 2. And I got a bit of an upgrade to my title as well because I'm now a mother to a little Luna.
Mama Nat. Hashtag Mama Nat.
Mama Nat
Yeah.
to adorable baby Luna.
That's right. So how old is Luna right now?
She just turned 9 months. It's crazy. Like, I have her now in the world for as long as I had her in my stomach. You know, it's very surreal.
That's true. So I think having Nat on this episode is very relevant because none of us have been pregnant.
That's right.
Or have given birth.
Right.
So Nat is someone who's been through that whole experience and we have so many questions for her.
So many.
Honestly, I'm so surprised when Nat actually told us her age just now because I did not know you were only 25. Which means you were 24 when you gave birth to Luna.
No, she was
Yeah,
25
I
when
was
she gave birth to Luna.
20, technically, yeah, 24. I was a few days away from 25.
Right. My goodness.
Wow.
That is such a young age. Like.
Yeah, at my age, I'm the same age as Nat. I
Right.
don't think I can have a baby right now. But this is such a relevant problem now because
Right.
apparently in Singapore, right, the total fertility rate actually fell to a historic low of 1.1 last year. What that means is per couple, right, you only have about 1.1 child. So only one child on an average. Yeah.
Why y'all not making babies, huh?
Hey, why you not making
Yeah,
babies, Azura?
you are the one that's married. Huh?
Checking out, huh?
That's right. So I think it's been gradually declining over the past decades. And while COVID-19 could have caused, I guess, such a decline, maybe people are not financially stable to have kids,
Right.
don't feel like having sex.
Right, but they have more time to have
Hey,
sex.
I thought there was a baby
Right.
boom there.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
was like a COVID baby thing, right?
right.
Nat, were you,
Oh.
is Luna a COVID baby?
No. I mean, I conceived her before COVID. And, but then, like, the whole journey, it was during COVID itself, right? So as I was making my doctor's appointment, you know, the visit, right, the clinic keeps getting more crowded. Like, every time I go for a checkup.
Because they were
Right,
going
see?
at it like rabbits.
People are-
Oh, nothing
They
to
have
do,
more-
huh?
Yeah, they have more time.
So was your husband able to be with you during the birth?
He was, but he was not allowed to stay. So he was allowed to be with me in the delivery suite, but then post he had to leave me. Yeah, that was the situation then.
I think for mamas giving birth during COVID, it must have been so scary, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Were you scared?
I was so terrified, and I don't know, because I watched like too much movies, you know, and I saw how like they were screaming and it's very hysterical, right? But then it turned out the complete opposite during the actual delivery itself. Yeah, I can talk more about that later on if you want me to.
Yes,
for sure,
please.
for sure.
So there are many reasons why I guess the birth rate is declining. Many reasons why people might not want to have children at this point in time or at this kind of like state in the world, right? So why do you guys think, people don't really want to have children these days?
I'll go first.
Okay.
My reason is very simple. I think it will affect my career. Like I mentioned, 10 years ago, my goal is to have a baby by the age of 28, which means I have to be married by like 26, right?
Yeah.
But I'm already almost turning 27 and still single. And I think this is great for me in this phase of my life because I don't want anything to get in the way of my career, at least for now.
I think females are more career-centric these days.
right.
Nat, what about you? Why do you think people are not having children? As many children.
I think like there's a lot of uncertainty going on, and I feel like in a world where we're all progressing, right, and in such a lot of industries are very male driven as well, so it's that competitive edge that we are also worried about. So I think it's the uncertainty that comes afterwards because you cannot really tell what happens after a baby because you have to sacrifice so many things. And when I asked my friends, actually they mentioned something that I was able to relate to, and it's about the physical changes that will happen to their body immediately. That they were not ready because we're very young, right? And then obviously your skin's gonna stretch and all that kind of stuff. And that was kind of the first hit that I received when I was pregnant because my skin is horrible. Like I got stretch marks before my bum even showed. And for a while, when I saw that, every time I look at myself in the mirror, I was like crying, like, what body is this? It's not mine anymore. But that's actually the common thing for my friends, at least. They were afraid of their bodies changing at such a young age.
Were you concerned that having a baby would affect your career?
Yeah, of course, definitely. And in our industry, right, being on air, consistency is a huge deal. And before coming on, I mean, I'm going to let you in on something pretty juicy right now. We had I had a different superior, like a different supervisor who's no longer with us in the company. He kind of set me down before I got married. And then he kind of asked me, like, are you sure you want to get married? Because I was like around 22 then. And like, yeah, what's up? Like the date's already set. It is happening. Okay, if that's the case, then are you going to have kids? I'm like, yeah, that's part of the plan. And then he said, okay, can you not have kids in the first 2 years?
What?
And then I was like, but he tried to cushion it as much as as he can. But now retelling it, I'm like, that's actually a huge red flag. And I feel like there is a reason why he's no longer with the company. But that actually scared me for a bit, career-wise. Like he said, like, if you're out of sight, you tend to be out of mind. So it was boggling me for a bit, but then I realized, there's actually more to life.
But here's the crazy part. I mean, of course, female bosses are going to be more empathetic to that.
Right.
Yeah.
But male bosses, don't you guys have, wives,
Yeah.
children? How could you say something like that?
Yeah.
Or was he coming from a boss's point of view, like caring about you and
Like her
sort
progress.
of like, paving out your future for you? That's why he told you to make these decisions.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I mean, obviously, he's not coming down like you cannot get married, you cannot have
Right.
kids. He was saying more of that out of sight, out of mind thing career-wise as a presenter on radio because, we are, consistency, basically having a radio show. I want to think it's that way. So that's how I took comfort in whatever he said back then, that he was concerned about my progress career-wise. But of course, it scared me for a bit. So if I have kids, does it mean I can't progress as a DJ?
Hey, that is a legit
insane.
concern.
Yeah.
What about the both of you? As radio jocks yourselves, why do you think the birth rate is declining?
Well, honestly, I think that a lot of people don't want to bring children into this world, knowing that climate change is going to kill everyone. Yeah, it's really true. This is what Gen Z thinks, right? Why should I have kids if the world's going to be burning in a couple of years?
That's what they think.
Yes, they do. They honestly think that the world's going to end, and it's very possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why would you want to bring a kid into a world where they have to survive through that?
Okay.
Very serious, right?
Quite dark, ah.
Very intense.
Yeah, very intense.
What
Azura?
about you, Azura?
I think maybe cost is an issue as well.
Right.
Right? It's not cheap. I
Especially
think.
in Singapore, right?
Oh, exactly. And I saw this table which basically says people ask this person why don't you have kids? So basically this person has tallied up the entire cost of raising a child till they're 21 or something.
And that's one child.
one.
Okay.
And it was well over 300,000.
It's not cheap, like.
Some preschools, I just read in the news in
Yeah.
Singapore, right? For 1 year's worth of course fee is $22,000.
Oh my god, how many Chanel bags?
How many Chanel
about
bags are?
three,
About three. Three
Amazing.
small size Chanel bags.
But I think we've explored, like career,
Right.
also, your life journey. Maybe you're not ready to have a child. So I have a question for Nat right now. I don't know if it's going to be a juicy one.
Okay.
Was baby Luna planned?
Ooh.
No, she was not planned at all.
Then congratulations!
Surprise!
Yeah.
Tell us more.
Crazy surprise. Like initially my husband and I, we wanted kids like after we settled in our new place. We were still waiting for our house and all that stuff, right? I was actually on contraceptives.
Ooh.
Oh,
Crazy, yeah, but it was me. Nothing to do with the pills. Like, it's me. I don't know how to count my days right. I was in between houses, and then I was late for my next prescription, and then I miscalculated, and then I got pregnant.
oh my gosh.
Wow, you were very busy. Well, okay, so we're going to delve deeper today into pregnancy, the fear of pregnancy itself, or the fear
Right.
of having children. So, just a question I want to pose to everyone. Are y'all afraid of being pregnant and having children?
Yo.
Yes, I am.
Which part scares you?
The financial commitment, the time commitment, it scares me a lot.
That's true.
Because your whole life changes.
Yeah. And I think as of late as well, like when I see friends, sometimes they'll ask like, oh, kids, no? And I'll just be like, I can't even take care of myself. Like, how am I gonna,
Yeah.
care for another being and be responsible for another person? It's quite scary, isn't it?
It's true. I think for me, it is the fear of giving birth. I think I asked Nat very, a lot about this. Like, is
Oh,
it going to be
is it?
painful? Like, was she scared before that?
Right.
So I want to ask her now, like, were you afraid of the actual act of, giving birth?
Terrified. I found out that my gynae was like, yeah, and this like Asian skin, you it tears very easily. We're not as elastic.
Why would she tell
And
you
then I'm like,
that?
what? So like, as a precaution, I'm just gonna make an incision around your like rectum when you're giving birth. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. And for a while, I was considering cesarean, just so that I can preserve the pain and also what's happening down there.
Question. So they cut you up first, but there's still a chance that you might tear.
No, so that's why she cuts me up, so that it will not tear all over the place. So she just needs to repair that cut. So it's like a cleaner. I'm scaring Jermaine.
I am
No, but let
sweating.
me tell you.
But what
my
if the
delivery-
incision is not big enough? Will it still tear?
I think again, everyone has like will have different experience.
Yeah.
Every baby is different, every body is different. So mine was unique to my delivery,
Yeah.
right? You also be different, I'm sure. But then I think the whole build up was scary because I think I was over reading and I was reading too much into like other people's experiences and I was asking the gynae too many questions. When it came down, it was actually super chill. Like my delivery, I dare say, was the best day of my life, like the funnest day of my life. I want to relive my delivery day
think?
over and over
Eh,
again.
did they play music by the side?
I think you have. I did not.
I know what
But
song they
think
can
you
play.
What?
Baby, 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 oh. Hearing Justin's
Do that
voice-
for me, yeah?
Can. The baby will slide right out.
But why was that
It's actually
so
like a
chill for
delivery
you?
playlist. Sorry?
Why was that so chill for you?
Because of epidural. Let me just rename it as Happy Dural.
Was the epidural painful? Because sometimes I've heard that the needle going into the spine.
Huge ass needle,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
Yeah. It was painful, but it's bearable, It's nothing. I would assume it wouldn't be as painful as pushing a whole baby out because after the epidural, when they were administering it, right, I had the gas on me, so to kind of mask the pain. It did help. I wasn't wailing, and my tolerance for pain is actually pretty low. So for me to say that, it's actually very bearable. And then after the epidural, immediately it was like I was on the clouds. I got bored waiting for my baby to come out.
Yeah.
Like, that was how chill it was. Like my husband and I, we were reminiscing our wedding day, and then when the baby was right there at my vagina, they call it the crowning. My husband saw the baby's hair coming out.
Cute.
Freaking out. And by right at that time,
What?
you were supposed to feel like maximum pain, right? But I was excited. I was bringing up my own chair because it really became super chill. Like it was nothing like what I expected at all.
Wow.
That makes me feel a lot better.
Better.
Yeah, it feels
Right.
like pregnancy is more bearable than I expected.
But
right?
maybe she lucky lah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
yeah.
true, it's
That's
true.
That's
Yeah,
That's
yeah. But I think,
True,
a lot
true,
of people
true.
may be afraid of being pregnant, like Nat said, because of physical changes.
Yeah.
There's also something called tocophobia. It's
Ooh.
the pathological fear of pregnancy. Like, it's kind of like a phobia. Lah.
Right.
You're just very scared of it. Or those people that maybe have issues with their ovaries,
Okay.
or they've been through a high-risk pregnancy or a miscarriage.
Right.
Maybe they might be scared to
Right.
go for it
So,
again.
so someone on Reddit actually said that her greatest fear is being pregnant. But the irony is, this person, she actually loves kids.
Okay.
Newborns, babies included, she loves them all. But why is she so afraid? Because of the hormone changes.
Right.
And you know what it does to your bladder?
Yeah.
You have to keep going to the toilet. And also there's something called the perineum. How would you pronounce that?
Perineum.
So this refers to the area between the anus and the genitals, tearing or like cutting, resulting in scar tissue, and also loss of the elasticity in your vajayjay.
Elasticity. Oh.
So, Nat,
There are many factors lah.
is sex the same after pregnancy?
Oh my gosh, I feel like people are not talking about this enough.
Yeah.
I was like in the dark. I'm like, when can I get it on? You know, like when. But why does this not come with the instruction? When is it safe to have sex? Of course, the first few times I was so afraid. I think we gave it like a good. I think after 40 days or more than that actually after 2 months ish.
Okay.
And then we attempted, but it was okay because I was lucky that everything went smoothly for mine. It was a natural vaginal birth, and because of the cut, right, the incision, also known as the episiotomy, it really made my recovery very smooth and very easy. So there was no the perineum thing.
Right?
Yeah, it didn't apply to me because of the incision. So in a way, I was really thankful for my gynae. She said exactly that. Because if she doesn't do that, you risk it going all over, like tearing all over the place.
Right.
So yeah, but the first few times I would say it was pretty painful because like the stitches were still recovering. So after the first time we attempted, I think I took a break, like a very long break. Poor husband. We didn't have sex for a while. Yeah.
What poor husband? Your husband should be
Correct.
thanking you.
Correct.
Did he get you a push present?
True.
Yes, push present.
Yeah, like why do we give birth, right? It's for the jewelry, girls. It's
Yeah.
for the jewelry that we get.
Well said.
Actually, I just want to touch on something. 'Cause
Okay.
Nat mentioned earlier that she had epidural.
Yep.
And there's a lot of talk around epidural, you know. And I've heard things like it has side effects.
Oh.
And amongst these side effects, one that scares me is that I hear it affects your voice.
Oh.
And we use our voices for work. So I've heard this twice actually from two different people.
Yeah.
But the difference is that they're singers.
Oh, okay.
And their range shifted and they can't go as high as they used to. Their tone changed a little bit and they said that it's from the epidural.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's a first for me.
Oh.
I mean, hearing about the voice thing,
Right.
I had my reservations taking the epidural because obviously with my mom and my aunts who's gone through it the natural way, they were like, don't take epidural, you're gonna have backaches for the rest of your life and all that stuff. So I spoke to my gynae extensively. So you got to have an active conversation. You got to know what you're getting yourself into. Of course, with everything that you put into your system, there is going to be a side effect depending on everyone's body. So I think it affects different bodies differently. But then my gynae did say there is no it's not proven that there is lasting side effects. According to her,
Right.
she said the side effects is immediately you're gonna feel very, you're gonna feel sick, like you're gonna puke all the time, you're gonna feel a bit dizzy and nauseous. I did feel that immediately, but afterwards, until now, it's still pretty okay for me. So
Okay. But perhaps
I
also,
really feel like I got lucky, maybe. Yeah.
Right.
perhaps because Nat also had a child at a young age.
That's true,
Yeah,
that's
when
true.
you're older, it's more high risk, definitely.
Right.
Yeah. So we touched a bit about, pregnancy and how it affects your career, right?
Right.
Do you guys agree or disagree with this statement? A woman's career ends the minute she becomes a mother.
3, 2, 1. No.
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 No?
I don't
Nat, what
think
do you
so.
think? Do you agree?
No, not at all. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's true that, motherhood will be a huge change, but why do people think this way?
Yeah, there are so many successful mothers out there.
That's right.
Our producer Elle's ex-boss, who is male, always the male bosses, coming through with these sexist comments, actually told her that your career is going to end when you become a mother.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's this guy? Oh,
Yeah.
find him, whack him. Huh?
Hey.
Producer Elle said, "What rubbish is this? There are tons of successful career women who are also mothers."
That is true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, but actually, right, to touch on this, I want to ask Nat as well, because it's like a masterclass, huh?
I'm only a mom for 9 months, so like that's as much or as far as my experience goes.
Camera, we'll take it.
But when it comes to the career, right, I think that it is dependent on society. If society doesn't think this way,
Yeah.
Right.
it wouldn't be true, right?
That's right.
So it's the things that we do that perpetrate this.
Or the things that we tell other people. So please start saying nice things.
Correct. No, and honestly, right, if anything at all, like, women do so much more because they can have their careers, they're raising that child, they
Right.
carry that child around for 9 months.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Exactly.
Okay, no, but my question to Nat, right, is when it comes to raising kids and your career, right?
Right.
I think before you have kids, like, okay, where I am right now,
Okay.
I have this mental image that, okay, sure, you're gonna have to make sacrifices and things like that. But I think some mothers tend to change their lives in such a way that suddenly everything is about the kid.
Revolves
Which-
around the baby.
which, I mean, I guess that's natural, right? That's
Right.
motherhood. But at the same time, I think I don't want to be that person who will drop everything. I have to say it and not sound like a
okay.
terrible
No,
person
let me
who
rephrase.
shouldn't have
It's-
kids.
it's
huh?
correct. It's
So
correct.
I think what Azura is saying
Oh.
that she wants to also keep her independence,
Yes.
while being able to commit to this
Right.
child.
Exactly, because I think a lot of people have this thing, or they do it maybe subconsciously, where that's their entire life.
For example, they quit their jobs
Oh.
to take care of the children, send them
Which
to
is
school
not
every
wrong.
day.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not wrong at all.
Correct.
I think it's a personal choice.
Yeah, where their entire lives, right, is dependent on the kid. Oh, can you go out? Oh, yes, but let me check what time the kid sleeps, what time the kid eats, and then they sort of like schedule themselves around
Around the
that.
kids.
I think that's inevitable.
Yeah.
You can't really
Oh.
choose that. But Nat, what do you think? Like, how are you
Exactly.
coping with your career and also being a mom?
That's right.
Great question. I feel like that was actually one of my fears as well, now that you mention it. Because all of my friends, I mean, 25, as you mentioned, it's pretty young, for us Singaporeans. Not everyone will have a kid at 25. So my circle, there are not a lot of parents.
Yeah.
So now when my friends, they ask me out, I do have to schedule it around the kid.
Right.
Only because my kid is still young. You know what I'm saying? And I am still breastfeeding. So for practical reasons, it has to happen that way. And I feel like that's just part of the sacrifice that has to, that follows with being a mother. I would say it will not last forever because this will only be until they start going to school.
Yes.
So if you think about it, you are sacrificing probably 1 to 2, if you're going to put your child in school earlier, like 1 to 2 years, or up until they go to primary school where they'll be at school most of the day and then you can go back to, going. So I take comfort in this, like, because I'm young and I'm a mom now, like correspondingly, that also means that I'll be that much younger as well to go back to a social life or go back to work in that sense.
Right.
But I
So
think
that's where I take comfort in that. But it's completely valid. It does happen, and that's where you realize that your circle is very important. Like the support and friends that you have. I'm very lucky that all my friends are obsessed with kids. That all my friends are obsessed with Luna. So that's how they make me feel better. Of course, yeah.
yeah, and I think your support in terms of your family, like your parents are so great with Luna. They would not hesitate to, take Luna and take care of her if you have a work thing.
Yeah, to the point where we actually have to argue and fight over Luna sometimes. She's
no problem.
Where's
It's
Luna?
no
Where's she not
problem.
back yet? I've not had my time with her. It's a great problem.
That's the key word here, right? It's sacrifice, where
Right.
Yeah.
females have to sacrifice more than males when it comes to having a kid.
Really? Not necessarily so.
Maybe when it comes to like breastfeeding.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Carrying the
When
kid.
things that only women can do, right?
Oh.
Okay. Then that is a bit of a sacrifice.
But do you think that it is normal to be afraid of pregnancy?
Of course, you're carrying that thing in you, that baby in you for 9, 10 months. I think it's completely okay to be afraid.
Yeah, in fact, nearly 80% of pregnant women express worries and fears related to pregnancy and childbirth. So, for Nat, giving birth during COVID, right, and during this entire time, what was your biggest fear?
During COVID, I thought that I had to go through it all alone. Like my husband's not allowed in the delivery suite because my friend overseas, that was the situation for her. Like she had to go through all of it alone. So yeah, but for me, it was at a good time where it's slightly more lenient. It was June last year, and I don't know. I feel like because it's during this time, everyone's taking extra precautions.
Yeah.
You know, like and they are like there are more what do you call it, measures put up in place. So it became very smooth. But like straight off the bat, I thought I had to go through it all alone, and I was trying to psych myself up for that. But it all played out for the best.
On the flip side, right, isn't it better because not usually after you give birth, your whole family, your auntie, uncle, grandma, grandpa will all come to the hospital. So it's better that you don't have to actually host them in the hospital.
Yes. I didn't know what to say, but it was so good. Like I had my time to rest, like it was super chill. Of course, I had people calling in and all that stuff, but it ends there. And then for whatever visits, it was like kept to like 10 minutes. They just ask me what's up. They bring me dinner, and then like, yeah, catch you later, catch you next time when your child is 5 years old, maybe when the whole pandemic blows over.
So we should have a child now. That's the moral of the story.
That's the moral of the story, yeah?
It's so unrealistic, right? To expect the mom who just had her vagina torn apart to be ready to see people right after giving birth. That's honestly,
That is true.
yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, but I've heard of in-laws that get offended when when you
things like
say
that.
when you say, oh, please don't visit me in the hospital, they get offended. Yeah, for the rest of their lives. Really, really, very sad. Yeah.
But yeah, it's their way of showing care and concern. It's
I
a generation
guess.
gap thing, I guess.
Exactly. Nat, question. How was your first pee after you gave birth?
Oh, did it hurt?
Oh, pee was cool. Like the hospital will force you to pee. They will see that and like wait for you to pee. It's number 2 that was scary, like pooping. So we were given like laxatives to help out, right? With the bowels and everything. And again, because of the incision, because of the episiotomy, it all went really, really easily. Because my anus was not touched at all. So I was afraid, but it was all chill and pretty okay. Yeah. But cleaning, that was scary. Like I was so afraid to touch anywhere in the region, right? So there's this thing called the SITZ bath, SITZ bath, where you just sit in a bowl and then you put some Epsom salt in there. It's a nice hug for the vagina and that area. It's more of the caring for the stitches that was a big problem for me, and for that I gotta thank my husband. So he had to deal with that. I'll just like. And then he'll put the gel on it.
Right.
Peeing and pooping, it was super chill and super easy for me. Yeah. It was waiting for the stitches to heal. That was the scary part.
I see. Wow.
But I think it's so inspiring though, like going through this at the age of 24, 25.
Yeah.
Because many people, many women, especially millennial women, they are delaying having their children due to their careers. And studies have found that women in many developed countries are waiting to have children, with the average first birth happening for new mothers at only the age of 31.
Wow.
That's pretty late, isn't it?
But you think about it now, looking at your life, right? Don't you think you would have kids around that age?
I think later than 31 for myself. Maybe even later.
Oh, really?
But there are a lot of considerations, financial,
Exactly.
health
Right.
implications and all
Right.
that. So here's a question for Nat. What advice do you have for young women who are building their careers but also want to have children? Because really I do, but I can't see a space in my career right now where I even have time to dedicate to a child.
Right. For one, I know a lot of people who wing it, but I don't recommend.
That's you lah.
Like me. Yeah, but again, I got lucky because I've got great parents. I mean, you got to have active conversations with yourself, with your partner, where you are. And if things happen, then that also positions you as a couple and how you intend to move forward, like what's next for you? Is there like a house that you want to wait on, And the advice I can give to you is that you gotta find that sweet spot and that sweet balance that we all need, at the end of the day, because I feel like it's a lot better mentally. And for me, having Luna now in my life, although she wasn't planned, she is the greatest blessing. And I feel like I should have done this a lot sooner, because it gives more purpose and reason to what I do at work now. Like there's more at stake.
Right.
And, and I feel like I'm more driven now than I was before I had a baby.
Hey, she's making me want to give birth, leh.
Correct lah.
This is the power of a DJ.
Okay. I call Asaph.
Hey, can we like get her to like give talks? Everybody will go home and do it.
Yeah, exactly. We need to quote this and put it on like Clarity's Instagram, you
Can
know?
you be in the delivery suite with me, Nat?
Of course.
I'll play you,
I'll be
baby.
holding your hand.
No, so Asaph told me this a couple of weeks ago, right?
Okay, but he wants a baby.
He told me I'm ready to be a dad.
Oh, good on you, Asaph.
I said, what? And he said, what if, he's just throwing an idea out there. What if we have a kid, then we get married further later down the line? Then our kids can walk down the aisle. I wanted to slap him, you know. I said, you're ready to be a dad, but it's easy for you to say. You don't have to carry the baby. You don't have to give birth. At this point, it clicked in his mind. He was like, oh yeah, I didn't even think from your point of view.
Right. So yeah. Whack him, where's the
Whack
ring?
him, yeah.
The ring comes first.
But I think it's very sweet of him to say that because he must have been ready for the financial and the time commitment.
Yeah.
You know, that goes into a kid. It's a lot, leh. It's a lot.
That's another thing as well. You know, if you're building a career, there are obviously a lot of things that you have to consider. One, do you have the support for the baby to be taken care of once it's out? Because like giving birth, that's just really like the work really comes after the baby comes out.
Right.
So you really need to have all of these plans in place for you if you want that peace of mind to continue the career that you've got going on now. So planning is always a good idea, you know. So if you can, I know people who like, especially with infant care now, you gotta book like years in advance to secure a spot, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, financially that's very obvious, but more of the caretaking of the baby, especially before they go into primary school, that's when they need the most attention, and you cannot just let them fend for themselves on their own.
It seems like it's harder to get a school placement than to get a Birkin bag.
That is very true.
Correct. Yeah?
So you have to do what? All kinds of like parents activities
that's right.
to get yourself
That's right.
like, even a slot in the school, right?
Correct.
Wow. My goodness.
So now having, done this, being a mother for 9 months and having gone back to work already, do you think this ideal that we have in our heads that we'll be able to balance motherhood and our careers, do you think this ideal is possible?
Of course, yeah, 1,000%. Like we're women. If we can birth a child out of, our system, we can do so much more.
Preach it!
Yes,
Louder for the people in the back.
We've got 24 hours in a day. There's so many ways to make the most out of it. You just gotta divide your time properly. And I feel like now as well, because I've got a kid, right, I'm more organized that way. That's how I can plan my time even better, because previously without this responsibility, like I was taking every day very easily. So I feel very productive now as a mom.
Yeah, I think, for people with a great support system, it's much easier.
Right.
For single moms, I think it's tough.
It's a bit tougher. So kudos, man, all the single mothers out there.
Single mothers, people without parents to help them out.
Yeah. And I think that if you are feeling anxious about, pregnancy, do what we're doing. Like we're talking to Nat.
Right.
Talk to someone who's had
Talk to Nat.
kids.
She'll make you feel so good.
Yeah. At Early
Follow
Nat
her
on
Instagram.
Instagram. DM her.
Call her the lunchbox.
How does your vagina feel, Nat? But yeah, seek professional help. Talk to a gynae. You can even kind of like talk with your friends.
Right.
But the most important thing is to be kind to yourself.
I fully agree. Don't rush. Don't fall into pressure from people who are asking you to get pregnant because this is your life, your pacing, and you call the shots.
Yeah. In fact, there are a lot of government grants now to help you because, we're trying to increase the fertility rate, right?
Right.
Yeah. So for every child, you actually get I think you get
Baby
a stipend.
bonus,
Yeah,
huh?
a bonus.
Right.
Correct. So go and check out all those grants as well.
Okay, so before we wrap up, right, I have one question for Nat. How would you describe yourself after 9 months of being a mother?
Wow.
Wow. I think it's pretty much what I had said earlier just now. And it is actually recognizing that the ability that I have, this caliber is something that I was not aware of before I even had a child. And in short, I feel like women are just amazing beings. They're really super beings to be able to have a kid or the physical birthing of the kid and to raise them. And at the same time, to build a career, as you can tell that there are so many things going on now. So for myself, as mentioned, I'm more driven than ever. I'm a very dedicated and committed mom. And I truly would not have this any other way.
Oh, that's so great. I'm so happy to have her on the show today, you know. So inspiring.
Also, one last big shout out to the women out there who
Right.
have fertility issues, who have gone through the loss, of a baby and all that. Really, you guys are so strong, and it does not make you any less of a woman. In fact, it makes you even stronger.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
All right. So, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Clarities Hush Podcast. If you like this, you can, give us a follow on Instagram at itsclarity.co. Drop us a DM anytime or even email us at hello@itsclarity.co.
That's right. And don't forget to tune in to Natasha on the Lunchbox, 10
the
a.m.
Lunchbox.
Yeah, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on 987.
Nat, it was so great having you. I think you've enlightened
Us!
Yeah,
And many other listeners out
absolutely,
there.
Absolutely. And fears that we had, a lot of things that were in our minds before this, and I think was in yours as well before you experienced it. But it's given us some clarity. Oh!
She was waiting for that one. Yeah. But I just love how much Nat is in love with Luna. Like, it makes me happy.
Have you seen her face?
Oh, can we put her face
Everybody
here?
would be in love with her here.
Look at Luna! Oh, so adorable! Ayo,
Little
so
baby.
cute. Ayo.
So cute.
All right, with that, thank you so
guys
much
for having
once
me.
again.
It's such an honor.
For being with us.
And to the Hush Podcast listeners, once again, I'm Tazel.
I'm Azura.
I'm Jermaine.
And we'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Time to make babies, huh?
Get busy.